Okay, we're talking about Game of Thrones. Now, my husband is so into the show, and quite honestly, I like watching it for the fact that there's some really cool characters on there. And one that I got completely inspired because I think she's completely an amazing character that is so haute couture to me. And that's, I believe her name is Princess Daenerys. Daenerys. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but anyway, she's amazing. And so I am gonna do an inspired look from Princess Daenerys to you, and this is something that you can see. Um, my take on this, obviously, but I did it more haute couture, more runway style. And my model here, Marygene, actually looks a lot like her. So I think that, and she actually did her hair kind of similar to her. And in fact, I wonder if she did because she totally likes the character too. So anyway, what I did was I put a nice clean foundation on Marygene. She has really beautiful skin anyway, but I just kind of did a very matte version of it. And then the Game of Thrones, everything's very muted. The lighting's very muted, and everybody's makeup is very muted. So I'm taking the face to a very matte place. However, what I'm going to do with the eyes is I'm going to actually add a little bit more modern twist to it. So right now what I'm doing is I am just adding a very soft black, jet black pencil and rimming it all around her eyes. And it's like, to me, what's going to really pop the eyes out and really give this whole feel of the smoky, smoldering look, that intensity from the black liner. So as you can see, I'm just kind of just putting it, and I'm putting a pretty thick line, but don't worry about having the line be so perfect because I'm going to be smudging it out in a minute. So see how I went right into the tear ducts, and I went right into the waterline as well, right underneath her lash line. And I'm just rimming it all the way around because I really want this to pop out. And so Marygene has these icy blue eyes, and so does Princess Darnie. And I think that what you can do, if you do have dark eyes, is definitely, play up with a lighter shade maybe, but you don't have to go black. But I think it all works for any eye color. So, don't feel like you can't get the same kind of cool effect even if you have dark eyes. So here I'm taking the smudge brush and I'm just smudging the black, and I'm not going to take it down too low, but I'm just going to smudge it out and make it a little more balanced, and do a cleaner, more, uniformed, symmetrical smudge line around the eyes before I start shading it with some shadow. So just smudging it out, kind of muting it out. Now, one of the things about this look that's really cool is that even though it's a very intense, smoldering look, I want everything to have a gradation rather than an edge to it. And you'll see what I'm talking about. So right now, I'm putting a very, very dark, very dark brown, with actually has a tinge of gold in it. And it's got a very kind of shimmery gold effect to it. So it's a really dark brown shadow with a gold reflection in it. And it's really pretty, really, really pretty. And I thought I went with that gold because I wanted to modernize this look a little bit, and also to create just a little bit more softness because we're going really into that smoky, smoldering look. So, and with the black liner, I think it's going to be a nice transitional gradation. And like I said before, I want this look to have the intensity of the dark eyes, eyeshadow, and the eyeliner, but I don't want any heavy, edgy lines to it. So I'm just going right along the whole lid, and I'm not winging it out too much or anything like that. I'm just going along her natural lid shape. Now, if you can see, I'm not purposely going all the way into the inner part of her lid. I'm kind of leaving that a little bit light because her eyes tend to go in, and I'm using the shadows and light technique, which I teach on my online and as well at my school. It's creating the optical illusion to keep and pull the eyes out a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm using the shadows and light technique. So I'm just not going all the way into the inner lid, and in fact I'm just going to keep it a little bit open just so that it does create some symmetry. And I'm just going to create a little bit more of, just a little bit more of a texture to it, just so that it has a little bit more balance and symmetry. So here I'm just going to finish up this part, and just keep in mind, everyone, that this is not an easy look, and by all means a look that you would probably want to practice a couple of times, just because there is a very subtle technique to this that does create understanding when you do it, because it's not just your typical smoky eye, it's really a gradiated smoky eye. And so I'm going to try to explain to you guys as best as possible, but definitely it will take some practice time for you to really get it done to the point where it looks really flawless. Because when you're doing smoky eye, you have to understand one of the biggest issues that I find is that it's a fine line between looking really amazing or like a raccoon. And you don't want to look like that. So, okay, so I'm taking another blending brush, and now what I'm doing is I'm taking kind of a softer brown, and it has a little bit of a soft, pearly kind of shimmer to it. And I'm just going right on the inner lid like that, and I'm going along the brown, the dark brown shadow, and I'm just blending those two together and softening that edge. But at the same time, I'm creating a gradation and a balance. And I'm adding a little bit more of the light right there so that it opens up the eyes but still creates that whole uniformity of the eyes, just symmetry. That's the key thing here. And we're going to be doing a lot more layers, so, don't get me wrong. This is, what we're going to be doing a lot of. We're going to be adding different shades of the brown, and we're just going to build it up and smoke it out and soften it out at the same time, and yet smolder it out with the intensity of the brown. So I'm going to go back and just try to blend this as soft, but you don't want to over blend at the same time. This is where I find that especially a lot of my students, when I'm trying to explain blending is really important by all means, but sometimes when you over blend, you actually take away too much of the effect of the shadow. So you have to be careful about your touch. And when you're doing this, you just have to really know what intensity to use when you are adding product and blending, and how much you want to blend, and also learning how to use the blending technique to make the eye shape in the best possible way, to get the best payout from it. So I'm going to take my my little fallout powder brush and just clean whatever speckles. And you can see how the gradation's really starting to take effect. So I'm going to let that sit for a couple of seconds and just kind of let it all, meld together. And I think that's really important. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of that same brown that I put in the crease that blended the darker color. And I'm going to just rim the brown, the brown that I put underneath, that was the same color as the eyeshadow that I used on the lid. So I'm going to take now that lighter shade, and I'm just going to go underneath that other. So there's actually the liner pencil, the brown shadow, and then now I'm going with that softer brown underneath it. So there's going to be a lot of layering, and you don't want to take it all the way in. You want to kind of edge it, so then that way it has that soft gradation. And this is a pretty intense look, so I mean, it's not like a look that you're going to wear to the office. It's definitely going to be more of a club look. If you want to, and obviously we're not there yet, but if you want to wear the eyes in this manner, but you want to make it a little bit less dramatic, you can definitely do different variations of shades. And as well, I'm going to go with a intense lip, but you can go with a completely nude, really beigey lip color. It's really pretty, and that'll definitely soften the look. Okay, so now after I did that, I'm going to clean and blend. And look at how you can see how it's just all starting to fall into place, and it's really pretty. And the main thing is that I want to create a softness, because like Princess Diana has a sort of a soft effect to her, even though she's a very powerful princess. She's got something that's very innocent and soft and approachable about her. And this is why I really designed this look for this tutorial, because I want to be able to evoke all those aspects of my inspiration. I want this to be dramatic, at the same time a soft, approachable, and yet I want it to be really fashion forward, like very runway, but at the same time I want it to be able to give whoever's doing it the ability to wear it and not just use this as a fantasy, because obviously Game of Thrones is a very period fantasy-esque look, but I'm just trying to modernize it and do it my way. So okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm taking the same color that I put on the cheek, and with the cheek, which, because I was talking over about other things, what I did was I used like kind of a brick brownish color. As you can see, it's sort of a brownish terracotta color, and I put the cheek color utilizing the shadows and light, and I really wanted the cheeks to have that sunken feeling, so I'm putting it right on the lower end of her cheekbone. And then what I did was I just brushed it in the inner crease of her eyes. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting more highlighter, and I'm layering it on top of that, which I already have some highlighter on there, but now I'm really going to pop it out. And this one has like kind of a beigey, pearl-esque tone to it. It's got a more of a browner beigey white. And I'm also now dabbing that also in the tear duct area, right in the inner part of the crease, of the inner part of the lid. And I'm going to put now highlighter right underneath her eyes and above the ledge of her top part of her cheekbones right there. And this is also going to create more lift of the cheekbone, and it's just going to add a little bit more shimmer. It's a little bit of a highlighter powder. It's a soft, very soft, subtle reflection. It's not a heavy, intense reflection. And it also will help pick up the brow bone area where I put the highlighter. So now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a third color, and this is a very peachy gold. So this is a very soft peachy gold color, and a lot of the products I'm using, I use a lot of Face Atelier, like the foundation and some of the eyeshadows, and as well as the blushes and the highlighters. I'm using Face Atelier, so really great product line that I'm so into right now. Okay, so now I'm using a very flat rectangle brush, and I got a little bit of a really black gel liner, and I'm just going to go right on the lash line and just dab over that pencil, because with all the powders I used, it gets a little bit muted out. So I just want to pack a punch and just go over it a little bit with the gel liner, just to give it a little bit more intensity of the black, because this definitely sells the look. It really does create a more intensity to the eye, with the black really being very prominent. And so just by doing that ever so gently, and you don't want to overdo it, you just want to go over it just to kind of reactivate that black a little bit more. And as you can see how it's really popping it out. Her eyes are really starting to pop, and Marygene's got super blue eyes, and the light on this is really hurting her eyes, so I have to hurry up. But you can see how it's just really just kind of going over and just redefining that liner is really key. You can't really over blend that area. So see how that is? So now I'm going to go with the last, this is a very light very light beigey color brown, and I'm just going to go right underneath and just tie that all together and just smooth it out. And this is the final gradiated color, and I'm just smoothing that out. I want this all to have just a very circular kind of flow to the gradation around the eyes. And then I'm just going to clean it up now with a little bit of translucent powder just to set it up. And look how pretty that is. It's just really, really starting to, her natural oils are starting to set in place. Her cheeks look fantastic. And I just want to really, really emphasize to use like very black mascara to really support the liner. And right now I'm using a very thick black formula because I want the lashes to be really, really, really thick. And I don't want so much to use like fake lashes. I want to still keep it very natural. So, but I want the lusciousness of the lashes to really come out. So I'm just going right into the lashes with each coat with a thick formulation and very black. So it's looking really beautiful. I'm very, very, very excited about this look. And I face charted this look and I loved it, and so now making it come true. And I think when you see the final end product, you'll know what I mean, how much Marygene does look like Princess Daenerys, and I think you'll be inspired to even do this look on yourself, so that would be very cool. Okay, so here I'm finishing up the lashes, and this is where I think, you know, to me, lashes really, they kind of finish off the eyes. It's kind of like the finale for the eyes, you know. I think eyebrows are very important, and I will be doing eyebrows on this one. See, this is another tip, is that if you want to wear this, not because I'm doing a kind of fantasy inspired, you know, look, and you want to tone it down, keep the brows very natural like the way it is right now. If you want to do a little bit more theatrical, dramatic, then go with what I'm doing, because I'm going to do the brows in a much more intense way. But if you want to wear this out, see how the eyebrows are more natural. Now, if you're obviously, if you don't have strong lashes, natural strong lashes, then you can definitely draw them in, but don't go crazy with the heaviness of it. Stick with more of a lighter shade than the eyeliner. I think it'll be pretty. But with this look I'm doing, and I apologize for my hand right now, it's just that her eyes are very sensitive to look into the light. She's got those light eyes. So I think, like, look at the brows now, leave it the way it is if you want to go natural, and see how the lip is very nude. This is Wearable. Okay, but as I'm going to go on, I'm going to definitely go all the way, and I'm taking it to the hilt. So, you know, definitely understand the dynamics of how you can take it up. Okay, so look at the left side and look at the right side. The right side I'm working on right now. And see, this is more dramatic. This is more couture. This is much more theatrical. And see how that side is much more intense. And see, on the left side, that's more wearable. So, you know, really it's up to you and the character. I mean, I do love the eyebrows drawn in this look because it really packs a punch. But at the same time, you know, this is a perfect example. By looking at one side done and the other side, you could do both. You know, more realistic wearable look on the left side. If you want to go a little bit more hot couture and just go really more runway, intense and theatrical, go on the right side. It's really up to you. Or do both. Try it both ways. You know, one day wear it with very natural look, and the next day maybe wear it more dramatic. So you can definitely understand that there's no one way out with this look. And then also right now, as I finish the brows, you can look at the lips. I don't have any lipstick on, but look how great it looks with a nude lip. You know, of course, put a nude color lipstick on it to make sure that it looks really polished and finished. But I think that's what makes it really more everyday wearable look. I wouldn't say every day, but more like a night, evening event look. That's more realistic to do a much more beigier lip. But in this situation, I'm obviously doing it because I got inspired by the Game of Thrones princess. And so I'm going to go more theatrical and much more inspirational with this one for me. And, but look how still, even if you just go with the intense brow, it just looks so cool. And so, to me, it says so much. It makes such a statement. And I really, really love, either way that you choose, it works. But make sure that, even if you go darker, you want to make sure everything's all blended and, everything has a nice soft feel to it. Because remember what I said, I want this to still be approachable no matter how intense the look is. And you want to make sure everything looks clean and symmetrical and balanced. So look how cool that is. Look at how the eyes just pop out, and I love it. This is such a great look, and in fact, I actually shot this. I'm also a photographer, and I shot some pictures with this, and I just love it. So now, okay, we're gonna go with the lips. Like I said, go with the nude if you want to go really natural with it. It looks fantastic, but I'm going all the way with this, girls. I'm using a lip color that's really fantastic. It is like a black cherry brown with a gold coppery undertone. It's really a beautiful color. And it is dark. It's definitely dark. It's the undertone, I would say, is like an oxblood red wine, and then it has mixed in with like a shimmery kind of bronzy gold. It's so beautiful. Sort of like the eyeshadow has that same kind of bronzy glow, gold glow to it. It has the same kind of similar effect on the lipstick. And I'm gonna draw the lips a little bit larger than, she's got great lips for sure. I'm just gonna go right on top of her lip line because the dark color tends to make the lips look more small and kind of pulled in, so I'm gonna exaggerate them a little bit, but I think it works really well. And as you can see how it's just really, it's such a great look. I mean, this is such a couture look. I mean, I can definitely see this look on an Alexander McQueen show, and it definitely, with an amazing couture gown or something, I think this is such a perfect look for that. And it even works great with the hair color, and it looks great with the light eyes. But certainly I think dark hair and dark eyes, dark skin, it doesn't matter what ethnicity or what color hair or eyes you have, as long as you do it right, it can look amazing. And like I said, this is one of the more difficult looks, and I want you to really make sure to practice this look before you actually feel confident in wearing it out. I definitely want to inspire you all to try different things, and that's one of the things that I do love about doing makeup, is that I can really share some different ways, like I explained to you, the variations of lip color you can use. And there's no rules to makeup, and that's one of the fun things about makeup that I learn every time I do it, as I've been doing this forever in a day. I still learn all new techniques all the time because I'm always constantly challenging myself and using different products, different tools, different ideas. I'm constantly looking at new movies, old movies, books, going to the museums, always constantly getting inspired. And I think that's really what makes makeup a lot more enjoyable to do rather than just putting makeup on somebody. It's really coming up with a work of art, and that's really important. By all means, makeup is something that should make a statement. And when you're doing a statement look like this, it's also part of the attitude. And I think you need to really make sure that you are connected to the look. Because when you go out and wear it, you have to sell it, not just for the makeup, but the whole thing. you know, you got to create the vibe with it. It's theatrical. People like to wear makeup because it is a very theatrical element to your life, to real life. And, you know, some people will never ever go this way, and I wish they would, because it's part of life is enjoying yourself. And this is, you know, this is part of making a statement. But look how cool that is. I just want to go back to the lip and look at how beautiful this whole look is starting to pull out. I'm going to have Marygene pull her hair down once we do the final finished look, and you'll definitely see what I'm talking about with her hair, because wow, her hair is awesome. And this, when I saw her hair and her just her look, I said I got to do this look on her, because it really is exactly what I always wanted to do if I were to do an inspired look on Game of Thrones princess Daenerys. So, you know, I definitely want you guys to really get inspired by this too, like I am. And for those of you, lastly, I want to explain that, you know, my techniques are not everyday natural techniques all the time. I do teach that, but, you know, I do like to create inspiration. And if you're serious about becoming a makeup artist, and you don't want to come to LA for training, take my online training course, and you can go to www.mkcbeautyacademy.com. I also do private training. You can also do a blended program. We could take most of it online and then come in and do a couple of really intensive class. So I hope you do come by. Remember, it's www.mkcbeautyacademy.com. And we are now at the final stretch of this, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know this was a longer one, but definitely I hope you get inspired. Watch Game of Thrones, check out that princess, and hopefully you can do this look and enjoy it. If you love what I do, please become a subscriber, like it, share it, and please, by all means, let me know what you want. I'll be doing a lot more, and I'll be definitely giving you some incredible ideas. Stay tuned. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.